Hello and welcome to Pisces Moon Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Kate Leonard, and I'm excited to explore the stars with you. Hey everyone, welcome to June. We are not officially, we're close to being in summer, right? I think it starts later this month. Anywho, this is the week of June 1st through June 7th. And this is all about Venus, the goddess of love. So get ready for all the feel-good stuff. All right, before we get into it, let me just say thank you so much to everyone who's here and listening. I am so grateful for all of you. And I have to admit, the podcast has hit a plateau. And more than ever, if you could like, follow, share, leave comments, whatever the stuff lets you do, would you do that stuff? But especially share. If you're not already on my Substack, go on over and join there. It's absolutely free. And if you need to understand your chart better so that you can make sense of all of the stuff we talk about here during the week, links to contact information and all of that are down in the show notes. I would love to work with you. Unlocking your natal chart is magic. That's all I've got to say about that. And with all of that, let's get into Venus, because I know you want to hear about Venus, the goddess of love, and all the feel-good stuff. Let's do it, just in case you're interested in the other stuff. But I do have to say, it is mostly a week about Venus. Remember last week when it was like everything Mercury? We're pretty close to that this week. It is a Venus, love, art, money, comfort kind of week. And I know I, for one, need that. How about you? Feeling the need? I am, for sure. But the few other things going on this week, we have on June 5th, Mercury making two aspects. He is still in his rulership in Gemini, so this is a very strong Mercury. You know, he's all things communication, writing, marketing, advertising, short distance travel, all that kind of stuff. All the mercurial kinds of things are going on. Also in Gemini, socializing, right? He is going to sextile Mars in Leo. So this is bold words, lively plans, illuminated meetups. A sextile is positive, but it's also an angle of opportunity. So you have to grab it. These things aren't going to just come and beat your door down to get to you, okay? So lots of good Mercury charged with Mars kind of stuff. Let the sun shine on all of your ideas and plans. It's super good. Grab it while you get it. Grab it while it's there to be grabbed. The only other really important thing we have going on this week is that second aspect from Mercury with the North Node of Destiny. Now, this is interesting, you guys. It's a square, so this is a challenging aspect. We are going to be challenged to rethink some of our big ideas, our long-term plans, how we think we're walking that path to our destiny and we're following our right path. We may be challenged this week to make some tweaks, to do some rethinking, renegotiating, okay? So it's not bad with the North Node of Destiny. I mean, even a square is not bad. It's an uncomfortable, possibly challenging situation that is truly meant to get you on the right track. Okay, so that's mainly what's going on the whole rest of the week. Now let's get into Venus. All right, on June 4th, Venus is still in Aries. She has just one more day to kind of finish up her mission there, right? So when a planet is at their last degrees in a sign, keep in mind that whatever job needed to be done in that area of life. So look to see where Aries is in your chart, because that's going to give you some hints about where this might be happening for you. But in a general way, Venus in Aries is about demanding the love you deserve, requiring that you are loved and appreciated on your own terms for your authentic self. So that's part of what is kind of supercharged right now as Venus, really invigorates or gets enlivened in that last bit going, you know what it's like when you've got a deadline and you're on that last day or so? Oh my goodness, I am so energized to get the work done because I've got a deadline. Yeah, Venus is on deadline and she is scrambling to get these things done. So look for opportunities where you need to sort of finalize standing in your own personal power in all things Venus. That could be in relation to your love life, how your partner's treating you, any kind of relationship issues, but also finances, your art. Hey, hello, all you artists and writers out there, right? You creative types. This is a time when you really do those last tweaking kinds of things to stand in your power in those areas. The other amazing thing that is happening at exactly the same time is Venus is forming a sextile, that positive angle of opportunity, with the greater benefic Jupiter. Jupiter is in social Gemini. Okay, for all of you who know I'm a Hellenistic astrologer. Some people call it ancient astrology. The ancient astrologers, I guess, or the one of the principles of this kind of astrology is that Venus and Jupiter are the lesser benefic, Venus, and the greater benefic, Jupiter. This is blessed on blessed on blessed on blessed, right? So when these two are talking to each other, it is always a good thing because these two planets can't really do bad things. So they can, but that's a long story and kind of complicated. More on that at another time. Basically, they're always good. And this is a positive aspect. So what does it mean? Social opportunities. Jupiter's in Gemini. Social opportunities are going to come up to let you finalize those kinds of issues we were just talking about, of Venus kind of standing in her power. It's a good time for contact, for social networking, for going out where people are, getting together with your people, all that kind of stuff. And then really kind of putting the fine points on standing in your power in those situations. You guys, this is a beautiful aspect. I can't even say enough about the two benefics coming together, the social aspect, the standing in your power. Oh my gosh, I couldn't love this more. I really couldn't. The only thing I'm going to remind you again, this is an angle of opportunity. This is not going to beat you in the head with a 2x4. You got to go out and get it, right? You got to say, oh, there's this gathering. There's this networking event. My friends invited me to XYZ. My lover invited me over here. Whatever it is, these social opportunities, you got to say yes. Please say yes. I promise you are not going to regret this thing. Well, I don't promise you. I'm not looking at your natal chart, but I pretty much promise you that say yes, go do it. It's gonna be good, but you gotta grab it, okay? And it's a quick thing. You only have this for the very first part of the week. It's really exact on June 4th. That is a just magnificent day. So go do a thing. Do a thing. Let the good times roll. That's kind of my cliche little saying for this week. Let the good times roll. Okay, now here it gets, you think that's good, right? That's all so good. Oh my gosh. But it gets bigger, better, and oh my gosh. On the 5th, the very next day, Venus moves into Taurus. She is at home. Taurus is her sign. That means she takes to her throne. She is in her own kingdom. She is sitting on her throne. She is magnificent. She is in her glory. And what does that mean? When a planet is in a home sign, they know this terrain. It's theirs, right? They have all their resources available so that they can bring all their gifts, and they don't really need a whole lot of help from aspects to other planets and things like that because they got all the stuff. They got all the stuff. So this is, I don't know. Can you hear that I'm excited? Because let me tell you, I am super duper excited. So we already know what Venus signifies, what her sort of areas of life are, right? Primarily love and relationships of all kinds, right? So this is a very good time to be, sort of basking in the glory of relationships beyond how we think of her, the goddess of love and relationships, right? She also rules comfort, luxury, especially in Taurus. That comfort and luxury thing, big time. We'll talk about Taurus in just a second. But comfort, luxury, beauty. This is a time for a glow up if you're in the market for a glow up, or beautifying whatever area of life is occupied by Taurus. So in your home, you might decide it is time to beautify your home, turn it into the palace you want it to be. So this can be anywhere in your chart, but also just in general. Venus rules sisters. And if you're born at night, meaning the sun is down under the horizon, I guess you're under it, right? Not behind it. Under the horizon, if you're born at night, Venus can also signify your mother. So you might consider that for you nighttime babies. Venus has a lot to do with money, but it's especially the money that buys us comfort and luxury. So this can involve things like raises at work and taking on new clients and all of that kind of stuff, because by doing that, we are then able to buy more comfort in our life, right? So Venus is weird with money. She doesn't just rule money, but she rules that level of money that brings us joy. How great is that? Who doesn't want that money? What else does she? Leisure. She's got a lot to do with sex, but it's that romantic sex, right? It's not that Mars, like, bring it to me, baby, right? All right. So Venus rules two signs. She rules Taurus and Libra, and those are quite different spaces. So let's talk about Taurus, because we want to look at what kinds of things especially is Venus tuned into here. Taurus is fixed earth. It is stability. It is groundedness. Taurus has a lot to do with nature. So this is really about focusing on all the Venusian kinds of things and making them stable, planting our roots. These are relationships that take on a new stability. So does that mean getting more serious, finalizing those marriage plans, getting engaged? I mean, whatever your thing is that makes you feel grounded and comfortable in that relationship. What makes you feel more stable in your career, in your home, in your artistic world? What do you need to do so that you feel really grounded in that space? A good place to work on getting in touch with all of this energy is anywhere in nature. Taurus loves nature, especially not as much, well, any kind of nature. Okay, so let me just say that. You do you, because you've got other planets in your chart that tell you what kind of nature you love. But Taurus is really like the earthy kind of thing, rather than say like going out on a sailboat. Taurus is like, let's go walk in the woods. Let's walk in a park. Let's go have a picnic in the backyard. Right? It doesn't have to be that you take a road trip to the mountains, right? It really can be going to the city park, the one that's beautiful, or the backyard, the front yard, whatever it is, right? Get into nature, take a walk in your neighborhood and look at people's flowers and look at what trees are growing and listen to the birds sing, because I promise you, in that sort of breathing in that natural environment, you are literally breathing in the Taurus version of Venus, and you will get inspiration. I promise you, you will get inspiration, and it will help you sort of get grounded in and know how to use this Taurus Venus energy that we're going to have moving forward. Okay, now Venus is going to stay in Taurus through July 3rd. She's going to move into Gemini on 4th of July. We've got her in her home sign in through July 3rd, which is a good amount of time to work on relationships, start new relationships. Because, yes, some of you, it's not going to be about maybe grounding in a relationship you already have. A lot of us are going to be meeting our true love during this time, right? Also, friendships, all the other kinds of relationships as well. If this is your fifth house, that is creativity and children. So expect you artists out there and writers and all people who do any kind of creative work, expect new inspiration, but also getting really grounded in your artistic vision or goals or whatever. But here's what more of you want to hear about. This is a time when babies could be made. Venus in rulership in the fifth house of children. Yeah, so if that's not what you want, you know what to do or not do, right? And if it is what you want, well, you know what to do, right? All right. So we've got her through through July 3rd. I know I keep saying till. I want to make clear that through the end of July 3rd, we've got Venus. What I said earlier when I was talking about her being in those last degrees of Gemini, being very, very active, that is also true when a planet first crosses into a new sign, like Venus is doing this week. So even though we've got her for this longer period of time, and we're going to be able to keep working on these Venusian things during that whole period, she is very active while she's at 0 and 1 degree. So this week, when she first crosses into Taurus, we get supercharged Venus. Why is that? Because when a planet goes into a new sign, they're like, holy heck, where am I? Now, it's a little bit different when they're in their own kingdom, because, of course, she recognizes Taurus, but it's still like, wow, I just got done doing all that Aries stuff. Now I'm in luxurious Taurus, right? And she's going to be like, yeah, it's like jumping into the deep end of a pool, right? Where it's like, whoa, here's that cold that even if the water is warm, you know how right at that first second you're like, boom, it is cold and I gotta swim. And you go into that sort of new, like hyper energized space. Think of that as kind of a planet going into a new sign. All right. She's in a new house in your chart. So she's like, oh, I got to work on these new issues. She's in a different sign. So she's like, oh, I got to shift how I'm working. This is a slower sign. Taurus is slow. Fixed earth, like probably the slowest sign. Maybe think of a tree growing into the earth, putting its roots down. They don't walk around so much. So take your time. Take your time. But this week is going to have a supercharged, however, take your time element to it. So if you're meeting people or you're working on relationships, whether that's with bosses or lovers or parents or children or art projects, whatever, or first house with yourself, know that you're going to be really motivated this week, but allow that this is going to unfold throughout the month. Taurus is slow, and so Venus likes to sort of luxuriate. So don't expect, yes, you're going to be feeling the dynamic energy this week, but don't expect that everything is all finalized right now. Accept the luxury, right? It's going to move like honey, not like a fast-moving river, but it's all going to be sweet and beautiful and Venusian and yeah, all those good things: money, love, art, romance, good relationships, fun with friends. All of these things are up. They're going to be up big time this week. And we are going to watch what we put in motion this week unfold for a while. So, wow, everyone. Is that super good? I'm going to be talking early in July. So in about a month, I will talk to you about when Venus goes directly conjunct with Uranus, because don't think that while she's in this sign, we don't have some surprises coming. We do, but that's going to be early in July or very, very end of June. All right. So for now, love, laugh, live, luxuriate. I love the L words for all of this for some reason, but just really enjoy, right? Really enjoy. I love it. I love talking about it, but I know this is getting long, so I will stop now. I really appreciate you if you stuck through to the end. And again, I really need your help. If you could share the podcast and get some new people listening, I would be so grateful. Put it out on all your socials and things like that. Truly, truly grateful. I'm still collaborating with Jackie over on Substack, doing the horoscopes. That link is in the show notes as well. All the stuff. I'd love to work with you in your chart. Contact me and we'll get hooked up for that. And yeah, that's what I got. I love this week. I love it for all of us. And until next week, go out and seize the energies of the stars. This is my wish for you always. I'll see you next week.